Hi, everyone. Thank you for clicking our link. My name is Daria Spakoinaya, and I lead the student program at WeirFoulds. I am joined today by the 2020 summer students, class of 2022. And we have Craig Harisimchuk, Alden Mitchell, Kristen Robertson, Cassie Shalou, Alfred Pepujaj, and Emma Brown. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It is such a treat to have you here. We are going to go through some frequently asked questions so that you can get to know us a little bit better. What is it like to be a summer student at WeirFoulds? And can you share a little bit of a snapshot on a typical day?
Yeah, definitely. So it was a great experience. One of the things I was looking for in summer was the opportunity to work in a lot of different practice groups and kind of get a feel for what I was interested in. And I was able to do quite a bit of work in both the litigation and the corporate transactional groups, where I worked closely with both partners and associates. A normal day for me was I usually started with a morning call with some of the other summer students. Then I'd have a meeting for either training or a file that I was working on. And then after that, assignments will kind of roll in during the day. So you never quite know what a day is going to look like. We'd usually try as a group to grab coffee or lunch when we could. And then you always see lawyers or staff when you're around the office and you have the opportunity to chat with people then.
Thank you. What is the culture like at WeirFoulds?
Yeah, so as cliche as this may sound, I would describe the culture as very collegial. Despite the pandemic, which forced most firm members to work from home, you still felt like you were working in this incredibly collegial and supportive environment. During the interviewing process or throughout this summer, everyone I interacted with was very friendly, supportive, and overall just genuine. And I think this in turn made me feel like I can be my authentic self in essentially every interaction.
Perfect. Thank you. What makes WeirFoulds different from the other firms on Bay Street?
So different from the other firms at Bay Street when you're at WeirFoulds is you're going to find yourself as only one of 6 other students. This actually translates into a large difference when it comes to the teamwork with the other students, the collaborative atmosphere around the office, the type of work you'll actually be doing when compared with other Bay Street firms. Being only one of 6 actually facilitates a much tighter work environment, one with the other students, and two with the other lawyers that you're going to be working with during the summer. That's an experience that you just can't replicate at other firms when you're one of 15 or one of 30.
What is your favorite part of your job?
Honestly, I'd have to say the people. Everyone, whether that be lawyers or support staff or our student program coordinators, is so generous with their time and they really want you to succeed in your summer, but also clearly beyond that as you become a young lawyer. And of course, for me, I found that it was great to work with my fellow summer students as everyone was very supportive and helpful throughout the summer as well.
Thank you. What kind of training do the students have?
So WeirFoulds provides quite extensive training throughout the entirety of the summer program. To begin the summer term, there's a week-long intensive training where your whole day is going through different aspects of the firm, the resources available to you to help you complete your assignments, and how to use our various research tools. As the summer term progresses, the training decreases a bit, but every week there are a couple of different training sessions that you can go through, whether that's meeting different practice groups or ensuring that you're understanding how to use the research tools. Given the circumstances, our training was through a variety of virtual sessions with different people at the firm, IT partners, associates, as well as people outside of the firm, as well as some online training modules that you completed. And the firm also provides opportunity to attend area-specific training sessions throughout the summer if they become available.
Perfect. And can you tell me a little bit about the feedback mechanisms that you had?
Yeah, so feedback for the summer program kind of breaks down into both formal feedback and informal feedback. So in terms of formal feedback, Our summer was shortened, so we had one formal review in the middle of our summer where we sat down with Daria and she gave us feedback from many of the lawyers we had worked with. I believe in a normal summer you would do that twice, so once in the middle and once at the end. And then in terms of informal feedback, a lot of lawyers will either send you documents back with track changes so you can see their comments, or they will give you a call, send you an email to let you know what they think of your work. And if they don't, they tend to be very receptive to you sending them an email requesting feedback.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about mentorship at WeirFoulds?
The mentorship at WeirFoulds is multifaceted and really is one of the trademarks of the summer program. At the beginning of the summer term, you're assigned a summer mentor who you meet with weekly throughout the term. And you're also assigned 2 summer coaches who act as co-mentors and alternate meeting with you weekly. Then you have the more informal mentors, such as our wonderful librarians who you check in with once a week and give you invaluable guidance on how to do research and ensure that you're both effective and successful. Finally, you have the even more informal floor mentors, who may be people on your floor that you see every day that also try to help you along. Ultimately, there's a lot of mentorship for the entire summer to make sure you're going in the right direction and that you're not feeling overwhelmed.
Perfect. And how did the firm adapt to the unusual circumstances of 2020? And of course, how did that impact your program?
Yeah, so admittedly, I was nervous a little bit about the summer due to the challenges that are presented by the pandemic. However, this anxiety quickly went away because of the very friendly and welcoming culture of the firm, coupled with the incredible resources and a very supportive management. Being able to develop strong relationships with lawyers, mentors in my summer class, mostly through Zoom, has its challenges, but the fact that we're still able to build these relationships while still doing quality work, I think reflects on the firm's culture and commitment to our success.
Excellent, thank you. And what would you look for in a firm during the interview process?
When you're going through the interview process, you'll hear it a lot. Everybody's going to tell you look for fit, fit, fit. So you guys all know that. What I'd like to give you some advice on is to look for some things that may be a little bit different. So if you know what type of law you want to go into, I think you should really look for a firm where you're going to get that experience. And on the polar opposite end of the spectrum, if you have no idea what type of law you're interested in, then you should really look for a firm where you're going to get that broad range of experiences as you go through the summer. So for example, at WeirFoulds, you're not going to be put into a business section or a litigation section. You're going to work on everything. So you could do a real estate transaction, you could work on estates, you could work on corporate litigation, and then switch right over to corporate transactional work. So you really should take into account, if you know the type of work you want to do, where you can get that experience. And if you don't know, look for a firm where you're going to get that broad experience.
How is the work distributed and what type of work assignments do summer students receive?
So there's a listserv that assignments can be distributed through, as well as you'll often receive assignments directly from people that you've worked with before, your mentor, or if you've expressed an interest in a particular practice group, often lawyers in that group will reach out to you directly. We as a group found it really helpful to make sure we had good communication amongst ourselves in terms of making sure that everyone had enough on their plate and that people were able to take specific assignments that interested them. Typically, the assignments that you get are things like due diligence, putting together materials for closings, contract review and making the necessary changes, research, drafting FACTA, attending hearings or client calls, as well as writing articles.
Excellent. Now, team question, this is for everyone. What would you say is your top interview tip?
I think my top interview tip would just be to be yourself. It can be an overwhelming process, but it's an opportunity to meet really amazing practitioners and lawyers. So just try to enjoy that.
Yeah, I'd say my top interview tip is to ask questions that you genuinely care about the answer to.
And just to add on to what Kirsten said, ask questions, approach the interview as if you're also interviewing the firm, because at the end of the day, you want to know whether the firm is the right fit for you. So you should prepare a list of questions that you want answered, and of course, make sure that your answer is not already on the firm's website.
Yeah, just to echo what some of my colleagues have said, I think it's really important to try to relax and really be yourself. At the end of the day, you really want to end up working somewhere where you can be yourself. So It's important to portray that in the interview process as well.
Yeah, for fear of sounding repetitive, I'd say relax, be honest, be yourself, show your interests. Your interests are what set you apart, so lean into them.
My top interview tip would be to impress upon the interviewer a unique skill set that you bring to the table that others may not. At the end of the day, you need to remember that the firms are looking to build a team and they don't want to build a team with all the same type of players. It just doesn't work that way. So be able to sell your unique attributes and discuss how you will benefit the firm if they hire you.
Last question. It's a team question again. What was your most rewarding experience during the summer?
So for me, I was brought onto a file on the first day that we could accept work. And it was just for a discrete research question. But then over the summer term, I was asked to do some follow-up research and to research some additional issues. At the end of the file, I was asked by the partner and associate to actually draft the factum for the motion. So bringing together all of this research and making a final product. So that was just a really exciting experience as a summer student to see your work in a practice setting rather than a law school setting.
Yeah, I think for me, generally, it was really rewarding to be able to contribute meaningfully to files by identifying ways to potentially solve a client's problem, and then to receive feedback on your ideas, both directly from lawyers on the file as well as from the client.
So I echo what my colleagues here said. So besides having the opportunity to work on various interesting files, I'd say the most distinctive and rewarding feature was the relationships I built with lawyers and my student cohort.
Yeah, for me, similar to Kristen and Cassie, one of the most rewarding experiences was getting to see your work go directly to clients and then hearing back from clients what they thought of it.
Yeah, I'd echo everything said before. For me, the most rewarding experience was being able to meaningfully contribute to files and to see some of my work used in like a large merger or closing.
I'd agree with everything all my colleagues have said. Me in particular, I had the chance to work on a file for in and around 6 weeks. And if this particular file, if it goes our way, it will likely make regional, if not national headlines. Working on something like that and knowing you played a minor role in the background on something that will set precedent is pretty cool. And on a personal note, with everything that was going on regarding COVID and lockdowns, we were actually able to get out as a student group and hit the driving range once. And so that's really enjoyable. And being part of a firm that facilitates that during tough times is just awesome. So
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in. We hope to hear from you. Send us your questions if we haven't answered them. And we hope to see you either at an interview or at a recruitment activity. Until then, signing off from WeirFoulds.